Hi, and welcome back. So we're going to start looking at data types in JavaScript. So as you already know, JavaScript is a loosely typed language. That means that it is not as strict as certain statically typed languages. So when it comes to data types, most of the work will actually be following you to make sure that the data that gets into the system, the data that you get from the user, is the right kind of data. So all of that will be following you as a programmer. What are the data types that we have in JavaScript? The primitive data types that we have in JavaScript. So the primitive or the primary data types that we have in JavaScript are number. So a number that can be 1, 1.2, negative 10. So this is a primitive data type, number, any kind of number. That is the first primitive type we have in JavaScript. And then we also have strings. So strings are characters. Maybe you want to put a word in there. You want to say, hi, how are you? That can be represented by a string. So we do have numbers, then we have strings, and then we have the Boolean type. Now the Boolean, this represents two values, true or false. So this is used to represent whether a value is true or false. You'll see things related to the Boolean type when we start looking at conditional statements. Things like if x is less than y, then do whatever is inside the curly braces. You'll see about the Boolean type come into play in this kind of statements. So the Boolean type has two values only. It can either be true or it can be false. And then we have the null. Now basically the null, this is an object that has no type and has no value. So you can say something is null when it doesn't have a type and it doesn't have a value. And then we also have undefined. So undefined basically means we know that it is there. We know that it is there. Let's say, for instance, it's a variable. It is there, yes, but we haven't given it a value. It doesn't have a value. So null is for objects. You'll see when we start looking at objects, null is for objects, whereas undefined can be for variables, properties, methods. So the primary data types that we have in JavaScript, we have said are number, string, Boolean, null, undefined, and symbol. So symbol, this is new in ECMAScript 2015. So this one is the data type whereby the instances are unique and immutable. So you'll take a look at this when we get to this part. So we'll take a look at these symbols when we get to the part about new things in ECMAScript. Now, other than the primary data types, we also have objects. And an object, these are named key value pairs, data containers that you create. So you can maybe create a person object which will store maybe a name, and then on this side, so an object is a key value pairs of data items that you can create yourself, maybe to store certain kinds of data. So you will look at objects later on. So in this video, we've taken a look at some of the data types that we have in JavaScript, and we've said that we have the primitive data types, which include number, string, Boolean, null, undefined, and symbol. And then we can also have objects. So let's continue in the next video.